Hey folks, Pamela here. I wanted to show you what herbal tea I'm making for this week. And wow, I don't know why it's so dark. Maybe I need to be a little closer. I don't know what's going on. So I've already put the tea blend together, but I wanted to tell you about what each herb is in the tea before I pour the water over it. I have a combination that I'm doing to help with my anemia, or what's called in Chinese medicine blood deficiency. And it features my new favorite food herb, which is mulberries, the dark purple ones. They're called sangshen in Chinese medicine. They are good for the heart, they're good for the liver, they're good for the kidneys. So it's like, all those juicy parts of us that help us move forward and with ease in the world, and just keep everything connected and flowing. And so that's the main herb that I have in this formula. I have a handful. And the next herb that I have in there is Gotu Kola. I'll pull a handful out for you so you can see. Gotu Kola is an Ayurvedic herb. It is cooling. It's wonderful for the nervous system. It's wonderful for brain health. And it's also beneficial for sluggish digestion. And that's something that I've been working on with my bitters lately. And sluggish digestion is something that a lot of people with Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism deal with. So I've been really working on how can I improve my digestion lately in a way that's like going to expand my digestive capacity instead of just working with like a lowered capacity. So I'm trying to like grow it a little bit now. And Gotu Kola will help with that. It's also like a little bit moistening, and I need that because the back of my throat has been very, very dry lately and irritated from allergies. And my theory, because I like to test out theories, is that by having some of these moistening herbs like the mulberry and the Gotu Kola, it will help my throat and in turn help work with the allergies that I'm coping with. I'm really allergic to some of the trees that are grown in my area. The next herb that I have in the formula, Gotu Kola, 1 teaspoon. I'll put a recipe up on my site under the recipes and how-to section. I just burned my arm on my tea kettle. And I'll put the recipe up along with a couple pictures on my recipes and how-to section from my site. So go check it out. Next herb is Eleuthero. Eleuthero is an adaptogen. It's also known as Siberian ginseng. It is a warming herb, but it doesn't, I'm someone who's very sensitive to warming herbs, in that the warming can trigger headaches for me. And Eleuthero is a warming chi tonic adaptogenic herb. Chi tonic meaning it helps build the body's available energy. And it is also helps address adrenal stress and thus forms of adrenal fatigue, especially if your adrenals are so stressed out that you can't sleep. So, I'm working on that as well. And any kind of additional support that I can give myself in that way, I'm going to, on top of like all the other things that I'm doing. So Eleuthero is going to help my adrenals kind of find their new normal and feel less stressed out, and then I won't be so fatigued that I can't fall asleep, because that's a big hallmark of when we're burned out. We are so tired we cannot sleep, and Eleuthero helps with that. So I will be taking some of that. I'm using a tablespoon. This is what Eleuthero looks like when you buy it. It's called cut and sifted. It smells, I don't know, it smells like Eleuthero. A little licoricey, a little woody. I find it to be very pleasant. And then the last herb that I added was a teaspoon of Oregon grapefruit. This herb is bitter, but I have enough other sweet herbs in my blend that I don't think it's going to be a problem. This is what Oregon grapefruit looks like when you buy it cut and sifted. It's a little yellow, it's a little green, and it tells the liver to increase the secretion of bile. So if you have trouble with bile secretion, and then in turn have digestive problems because you are not producing enough bile, Oregon grapefruit can helps improve the communication between the bitter taste of the Oregon grapefruit into the liver to release the bile. So it also, because it affects the liver, it also helps with skin conditions. I've been having some, I think it's maskne, lately down here on my chin, but and that's usually also a hormonal issue. And the liver, if you're having skin issues related to hormones, you usually look at the liver in Chinese medicine. So I'm putting Oregon grapefruit in for that reason, as well as what are called bilious headaches. And bilious headaches are headaches that go up the right side of your body. They usually start back here in the occiput, or the base of the skull, where your skull meets your neck, and then they wrap around your ear. And I do tend to get those sorts of headaches related to my violin playing. You know, you hold the violin up, you're kind of like you're not actually static, but because of the way my head is, and I have an injury to this side of my neck, this side of my body tends to end up with headaches. So what I'm doing with the Oregon grapefruit is trying to help move the energy through this area of my body to help tell it, you don't need to be so reactive anymore. So that's why the Oregon grapefruit is in there. And this is in just a French press that I got from IKEA. It's glass, so it's not exposed to any plastic or anything like that. I think it was $10. And I think it's a 4-cup one. So I will pour just boiled, as you know, because you saw me burn my arm. Just boiled water over, and I'm going to fill it all the way up. I'm going to, if I can find the presser, the plunger, I'm going to put the pour side facing back so that the steam stays in. And I actually like to plunge down just a little bit so that the herbs are submerged, but still have enough room to steep and bloom and expand. So I'll let this sit until it cools to approximately room temperature. So it'll steep for a good half hour or longer. And then I will strain it and drink it. And depending on how I like the taste, I may or may not sweeten it with honey. And for a tea like this, I probably won't put any milk in, but if I choose to drink it like as an afternoon option, you know, if you're someone who reaches for chocolate or a cup of tea or whatever in the afternoon to help you get through the afternoon, then I might put oat milk, because that's my milk of choice right now, in with my tea. We'll see. Along with maybe a little bit of honey to, you know, get a little sugar boost. But we'll see. I think that it'll be sweet enough with all these mulberries in there, though. So if you give it a try, let me know how you like it. And yeah, I'll be back again the next time I come up with a new combination. Oh, also, I do tend to, extra tip, sometimes I'll add slices of fresh ginger or pieces of orange peel into my formulas. And I'm not doing that this time because of the dryness that I said that I'm feeling in my mouth and throat. So I'm just going to let the herbs do their thing. And if it doesn't agree with my digestive system, then I will consider adding a slice or two of fresh ginger to my next batch. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're working with a new combination of herbs. You know, orange peels are one of my favorite herbs because they tend to be very damp. Damp meaning I really retain a lot of water. I tend to produce a lot of mucus and phlegm. I'm very kapha in Ayurveda, and in Chinese medicine I'm very damp and phlegmy because I'm an earth type. So, and earth types tend to be damp. Whereas, you know, like fire types tend to be hot. So, so that's something to bear in mind for yourself when anytime you're making a formula put together by someone else. Take a look at does this herb fit for me? And if it does, great. And if this formula sounds great, but I'm not sure about it, then you make a smaller batch, and then you can see how your body responds and then choose how to proceed from there. So if you want to learn more about that, then you know who to talk to. Yeah, so I'm gonna have some lunch and then have some tea once this is done steeping, and I will see you soon. Hope you're good. Bye.